becoming aware of all of the noise that we create within and without. Becoming aware of the Sutra of Patanjali, Sthiram Sukham Asanam. Steady, comfortable, the place to be. The posture is such that there is steadiness, there is stillness. Feeling comfortable, at ease in your own being. All of that which we do on the path of yoga, of meditation, I would say that this is an important sutra to practice, to become aware of. To take away the fickleness of the mind, not to get caught in the storm that is life, but to become aware of the steadiness, of the stillness. Each day, every day, take this time to consciously become still. Become aware of the steadiness within yourself. Think and ask yourself, how quiet, how still am I? What is the foundation of my own life? Where do I stand? How do I stand? I often tell people details matter, attitude matters. Sthiram Sukham Asanam asks us in many ways to look at this. Look at the physical attitude, the mental attitude, the emotional attitude. To look at the details of life. To look at the details that surround life. So as you sit on the floor or on the chair, ground yourself. Make sure you're firmly rooted, firmly seated. you feel comfortable. The physical body is simply a representation of all of that which happens within us at an emotional level. Come every Sunday to satsang from anywhere 1, 2, 3 hours. So let's take that 60 minutes, 120 minutes, 180 minutes, depending on the hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, to bring about a shift, a change. Movement is necessary. Life has a tendency to move forward. So let us flow forward, move forward, bring about an uplifting change, movement. Let that stillness permeate every cell, every pore of your being. Carry that stillness with you wherever you go. Take a deep breath in. Allow yourself to inhale through the nostrils into the neck, opening up your chest, down into the stomach, allowing the breath to ground you, root you in your seat. Let that breath that you take in settle you, calm you. Exhale and let go. Once again, inhale through the nostrils, allowing yourself to expand as you breathe in into the chest, allowing the shoulders to go back, chest to come forward. into the stomach, allowing the breath to again firmly root, establish you in your seat. Baba Muktananda always said meditation has these three components: asana, breath, pranayama, and mantra. Done properly, these three lead you to meditation. So work on this. Your asana, your seat, your foundation in life, your breath, your prana, inhalation, exhalation, the stillness, the quiet, the breathing. Whatever the mantra is that you use as you sit for your meditation. Scriptures use the word abhyasa, practice, regular practice, daily practice, continuous practice, unbroken practice, incessant practice, practice without a break, without fail. So let each one of us ask, think, question, how is my practice of sitting? Sitting not to watch television, sitting not to watch eating, sitting just completely at ease, total relaxation. If you've completed some years on the path of sadhana, spiritual practice, you should be able to sit. If you're not able to sit, then practice sitting. Especially as it warms up, find places of nature where you can sit. Sthiram Sukham Asanam. Bring steadiness, bring comfort to your foundation in life. Patanjali says, Dirgha Kala, for a long time. long becomes relevant to each one of us according to our nature. As Arjuna asks Krishna, Chanchalam hi manaha Krishna, ati balavadram. Krishna, the mind is fickle, carried away by the wind. It is lazy, yet it is strong the way it wants to be. Krishna replies, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena jagriyate. O Arjuna, it is through constant practice and detachment that this fickle mind that constantly moves about, can be brought under control. Pray that you're not getting anxious as you sit, because still you hear many phones ringing, many ding-dongs happening, because that's the world we live in today. There you go. The mind cannot for a few moments be quiet or still without that sound, because it wonders, is nobody contacting me? Is nobody worried about me? Is nobody thinking, where am I? What am I doing? At the end of the day, none of those sounds matter. Or at the end of your life, rather, I should say. None of those likes or retweets or sounds or thumbs up or hearts or kisses or all of those things that you think is so important in your social world. When the soul leaves the body, it will be a journey that you will be making alone. That your soul and all of that which you have in the world of karma, action, reaction, done and created. Similar to the story Larry just shared about the soup or the bread. How much have I shared? How much have I given? How much have I looked at the other side of the table? Was my whole life selfish, wondering, worrying simply about myself? Remembering to breathe, inhalation, expansion, exhalation, letting go. So, in this chaotic world that we live in today, let each one of us put forth this effort to bring about stillness and quiet. Firstly, within ourselves, in our own homes, in our places of work, quietness of the mind, quietness of the emotions, quietness of the tongue. I often say it's okay if two of us sit on the table and it's quiet. If we want to imagine, we can imagine times of Bhagavan Nityananda sitting, lying, just being there in the space of consciousness, in the experience of that inner consciousness. And the people who come through, who understand and don't say anything but simply allow themselves to be in that space of consciousness. Allow yourself to feel the expansion, the goodness that arises from this quiet stillness. Mind feels worried or anxious. Begin to have conversations with yourself, pondering and asking why. Why, oh mind, do you feel this way? What is it that we have done in our life, past or present, that makes us feel uncomfortable within ourselves as we become still and quiet? Scripture tells us, Manaiva Manushyanam Karanam Bandha Mokshayoho. My mind is the cause. One's own mind is the cause of how one feels. Whether you feel expanded, whether you feel contracted. No one else is responsible for where and how you are. Situations occur in each one of our lives. How and what I do with those situations, my reactions, that is important. So learning to let go detachment, as Krishna tells. So as we gather here for the next 2.5 months, let's take time each Sunday in this manner to become quiet. So that means the time that you spend during the week till you come back, you'll have to find daily create a daily practice of sitting. Become aware of the physical movements, internal, external, including the clothes that you wear, the amount of noise they create, the water bottle, the phone, the purse, the keys. Becoming conscious of each one of these things. We had a satsang in Magod about a month ago. Time and space. Space and time. We'll try to get to that during these 2 months. To think about space and time. Because they're both important in life. The space and the time. Because accidents happen when there's a mix-up of space and time. So anyone you bring along on a Sunday, especially if they're the first time, you might not already brief them that we will have a few moments of stillness, a few moments of quiet. A few moments could be a few minutes or more. That each one of us is responsible in that time for the stillness of the space. Because coming up in June is a 2-3 week course called Understanding the Siddha Path. Understanding the teachings of the Siddhas. So for those who will participate in those 2-3 weeks, you want to prepare yourself not just for the amount of information you think that will come your way, because that is not important. That's a lot of glam, however you want to call it. What we want to do is, where do I find myself? How still, how quiet, how at peace. First of all, the faculty itself. Second, those sitting together for that amount of time. Knowledge can be found in the books. Plenty of it. Plenty of verbiage that's available. The internet also makes it possible to hear or read question to ask is, what have I understood in all of the time that I've been associated with the path? How I understand the mantra, how I understand the mind. How do I understand the Guru? How do I understand being a disciple? What do I think of karma? What is seva or service? In the midst of all of that, we will have the regular daily ashram schedule, hatha yoga, movement. You can choose to use the 2 weeks other than in class to just be silent and digest, imbibe, become established in the knowledge and the wisdom. The fickleness has to go away. Otherwise, you're wasting your own time and the time of others. You have to come to a place of sthiram sukham asanam. Patanjali says the abhyasa has to be with an attitude of service, an attitude of love, an attitude of firmness. It's like roasting something takes time. The fire, the temperature has to be right, and you have to keep stirring it for a period of time. Sadhana is exactly the same way. The amount of fire, depending on your type, has to be just right, and you have to keep stirring till it rose. I often share an advertisement of Hershey's that if the recipe calls for 250 degrees for 30 minutes, don't think that 500 degrees at 15 minutes has the same effect. 250 for 30 minutes. Sadhana, sadhaka, sadhana, sadhya. The seeker, the practice, the goal. The seeker, sadhaka, sadhana, practice, sadhya, the goal. So those of you thinking of joining us in June, begin to prepare yourself, not just with the amount of information that you think you will show off of how much you know. That YouTube does very well. The CD player does very well. We are human beings. We are alive. We are conscious. We are constantly malleable, changing, moving. The weather affects us. So it is through all of these situations that I must find the stillness and the steadiness. No matter what is going on externally. So becoming firmly rooted in your asana, in your seat. Simply bring your hands in front of your heart. Allow yourself to connect to that consciousness. Allow yourself to feel. We'll sing the mantra Om in B flat. You can just bring your hands onto your knees, palms facing upwards, seated comfortably, seated properly. Roll your shoulders back. Maybe just turn your head clockwise, anti-clockwise. Find the breath in your navel. You have to inhale, and as you exhale, you sing the mantra Om. We conclude our satsang with 11 rounds of this, and allowing ourselves to remain in that space of the reverberation of Om. Breath in.